Everyone, welcome back to the landscape. Today we're going to do some foliage. It's just a very quick one just to go over some bits and pieces, how to put it in, how to paint. And then at a later time, I'll come back to this project and talk about how to interact with the foliage objects themselves. Say you want to create a survival series or something similar. But for now, after this episode, we are done with the landscape. So we have our island, we have our ocean, we have our patch of dirt. I've also gone ahead and just painted some sand here. But what we're going to do is we're going to get some trees, and we might make a desert area somewhere where this, away from the sand. I'll put that back to grass. Just as easy as that. So I've made two amazing models in Blender. I'm just going to import them now. Okay, I've made that. I just need to make a couple of changes to the models. First thing is the stone is called material. I need to change that to our... I need to create a stone texture for that, and also need to change the settings on this because they're very shiny and we don't want that to be. Okay, so first thing we're going to need to do in order to paint our foliage is we need to create a foliage object, which is nice and easy to do. At the top, you go to foliage, and where it says drop foliage here, you grab your static mesh and you drop it in. If you select it, you've got a few options here. We're going to change the density down to 25. The radius is the minimum gap between each instance of foliage. 0 is 0, so they can paint literally over the top of each other. So if I was to change this to 500, then the trees literally paint on top of each other. So we're going to change this to 25, and we're going to change this to 50. So now if we paint, still quite a lot. Let's change it up to 150. Still quite a lot. Let's change density down to 10. Okay. The scaling, we're going to change this. We're going to lock the X and the Y, but we want to scale the Z somewhere between 0.5 and 2. So we have different sized trees, but the actual size of the bark itself is the same. Just need to make sure I have collision on my trees. And collision on my boulders. And we can set the collision preset to be block all dynamic. Add our boulders in as well. I'm going to have these as uniform between 0.5 and 1.5. Perfect. Okay, and then we can get to painting. So we can have make sure that it's ticked if they're the one that you want to do. If you want to do both at the same time, you can, but then it becomes a bit of a mess. So just get the trees along here, just as a start. And I'm just going to go ahead and paint some foliage, and I will be back with you shortly. Okay, and now after that you can see, I mean, I've got the trees everywhere, and I've got a nice big thick path that's going around. You can see it going over the hills. And let me just increase the speed of my play quickly. Go running down the path. You can see you've got trees. In this little lake here, we've got boulders, and if I keep going, you get to the desert, which I haven't got the bridge high enough for. But you can see that it's all been painted, there's cacti on it, and it's all using the same technique as it was before, just using the paintbrush. So the last thing we're going to do now is add grass, and after that's done, then we will have a very basic landscape. And with that painted, you can see now we've got grass, and as you come closer to it, it does render. Obviously, there's a bit of issue here. It's not a proper grass static mesh, but you can run through a forest. It looks half decent until you get onto these bumpy areas, but it's fine. And yeah, that is how you paint foliage. So thank you guys very much for watching as usual, and check out the rest of my videos, and I will come back and thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe, and obviously join the Discord as per usual, and I shall see you guys next time. Thank you.